Why is it so important to be the number one strongest state in the world? It's because in the last 300 years, whether it was Britain, the United States, or whether it's China in the future, the number one state typically dictates the rules of how the world systems operate. Well, what you're seeing with Iran is they want to dictate the rules in the Persian Gulf, and that's what that is. Now, if we pull this over, which I love your props here. That is good. So right now you see that even though it's the United States is just that lone flag, it has this higher weight. And what this is reflecting is the United States as the number one country in the world, the most powerful. Now, if you also then add this over here. So this would be Israel. You can see this is the world that Netanyahu is depicting before on February 27th. But the actual world, I just want to point out, is a little bit different. The actual balance of power is closer to this. It's closer to the United States, and then we have China, and we have Russia. There are three centers of world power, and in 1990, it used to be, by the way, just the United States and the Soviet Union. Then Russia, the Soviet Union collapses. This is when the United States is the sole superpower, the unipolar moment. It immediately shifts like this from 1989 to 1992. Dramatic shift. However, along the way, in the last 30 years, you see this changing. And what's changing? Russia actually still is weak. It's still about 2% of the world's GDP. That's not really what's changing. What's really changing is China is now much, much, much more powerful. It's still not as powerful as the United States, but notice that we were here in 1990, and now the balance is starting to be to come like this. Well, if we start to add Iran as a center of world power, now we're starting to change this in a much different way. Now, these three powers are starting together in concert to become more powerful than the United States, especially with respect to energy. And energy matters so much because it's an underlying component for our economic growth, that GDP.